What is going on, my super sandwiches? Rhyme Style here, and today I want to do something a little bit different. This is a new series I want to introduce on my Pokemon card channel, where basically before I send it off, you see me opening it and doing the whole unboxing and reveals from PSA card whenever the cards come back, but you never see me actually send stuff in. So this is a new series I want to try to kind of introduce in the channel, and if you guys want to see more of this, then just leave a like and a comment or something, and every time I get a batch of cards, before I send them off to PSA, I will reveal them here first and give you like what grades I think they'll come up with, and then when the cards come back, then it's like a part 2 type of thing. So if you want to see more of that, then let me know in the comment section below right now. So let's actually move to the start. The first one, actually I have a couple of these. We have 3 second edition Charizards. By the way, all these cards I buy from various websites, eBay, mostly trollandtoad.com. What I do is I wait for near mint cards to pop up, and when they do, I try to basically snipe them the second they're there. But near mint usually means 8 to 10s. I mean, every card I've gotten from PSA so far has been between 8 and a 10. And these actually have been in pretty decent condition. The only thing about these I'll note is the hollow patterns usually have a scratch or 2, and that's what causes the grades to go down the most. So as far as these, I'm expecting an 8 at best between these. 2 of these will probably go back at 7s, but maybe an 8. If I get lucky, I'll get a 9, but I don't think I'll get a 10 between any of these. If I do, that'd be great. I mean, then again, I'm not the professional card grader here, so I don't really know. Then we have 3 Charizards. One of these was actually pulled recently in the pack, but unfortunately, I think it's this one right here. As you can see, it's not the best conditioning as far as centering. It'll most likely come back as a 9, and the other 2 all have like one small like issue with it. Like, as you can see, it has like whitening at the top or something. So between these 3, I don't think any of them are going to come back as 10s, unfortunately. To those who don't know, these usually retail for about $50 to $60 a card. If you have this as a 10, it's like a $1,500 card as a perfect PSA Gem Mint 10. As a 9, it's like $200 to $300, which is still a good flip, but you want these as a 10, and my journey to get a 10 is far from over. I still got a long way to go, so yeah. If any of these come back as 10s, great, but they'll most likely come back as 8s and 9s, and that's about it. Then we got another one of these. This is from Plasma Storm, I think, Secret Rare. Now here's my issue. Every single time I bought one of these from Troll and Toad, they've always been completely off center. As you can see at the top right now, this seems a lot better, but there's other issues with the card, and this will not be a 10, unfortunately. Everything else is perfect. If you see any scratches or anything, it's just all actually on the case, but the card itself is pretty much untouched. But I feel like this is going to come back as a 9, which is fine because all my other Charizards are sent in from, like this exact same one, have come back as 8. So if I get something better than an 8 this time, then great. But if not, I have actually no clue what this is going to come back as. I want this as a 10 really, really badly. Speaking of 10s, I have 2 Gold Star Charizards. They'll be here later this week. I have not seen the conditions of them, but they were actually set as mint when I bought them. And now that's one that if it comes back as a 7, 8, or 9 is still good, because that card is so rare and so valuable. As like a PSA 10 is like a $3,000 card. So fingers crossed in that whenever this set comes back. Then we got this like I don't know what this is. It was just available for like $6 on the website, and Japanese cards are usually in good condition. I'm expecting this to come back as a 10, to be honest. I don't really know much about it. It just looks really, really cool, and I figured why not? $6, you can't go wrong with it. So that's another Charizard that's going to get added to my collection. This guy right here, we got our first Gold Star Entei. I don't really want to go crazy collecting Gold Stars because they're so valuable and expensive, but when I saw this pop up on the website, it was like $60, I think. I figured it's not that much of a loss. If you get it as a PSA 9, it sells for like $100, so it's still kind of a win. I think if it comes back as an 8, it's still about $60, so it's like my price is like met, basically. But if you get this as a 10, it's obviously a gold card. No pun intended, because it's a Gold Star card. So we'll see what the value of this is. But the cool thing is I really just like the art style. Like, this is a really cool looking Entei, so stay tuned. I don't know what this is going to come back as. I don't think it's going to be a 10, maybe a 9, at least an 8 maybe, we'll see. Then we got some Stormfront Charizards. This is basically supposed to be like a homage to the original Charizard. As you can see, it has got the same pose, just drawn in a different art style. Now, I sent in 2 of these before, and the cards at the time we recorded this videos have not been graded yet, so I don't know what they're going to come back as, but I definitely want to get one of these as 10s. I mean, anytime you get a PSA 10 Charizard, that's a good thing. PSA 10 Charizards are incredibly valuable. Even 9s are like incredibly valuable. Depending on which cards you have, 8s and 7s can be good too. Like a PSA 7 first edition Shyless Charizard is like $1,400. So it's like, depending on the Charizard, it could be a huge win. Depending on like what you're actually playing with. I don't know what this is, but this is available for like $6 on trollandtoad.com as well, so I figured why not. This is not going to come back as a 10, maybe as like an 8 or a 9, but I mean, again, it was just like $5. Figured why not add another Charizard to my collection, because one of these days I do want to get, you know, all Charizards, you know, collected. Then we got these two over here. Well, these are basically the same card. It just one's a promo card, one's I believe came from yeah, so this came from a set from I think Platinum, if I remember correctly, and this is actually a promo card. They're basically the same card, it's just they're designed differently. These are also very, very cheap. Figured why not. So far I've bought these a couple times and they've always come back really, really low. I think what it is because the edge is holographic. The hollow part is really easy to scratch. Anytime you have a hollow part on a card, which I'll actually get back to into later when you see something else that's inside of this pile. Anytime you have hollow pattern on a card, it's easily scratched. And that's why, you know, it's really, really hard to get cards like this as PSA 10s, and that's why the value is usually a lot higher. Speaking of which, we have two of these. These are Fire Red Charizards, and the same situation applies. Because the hollow pattern around, it's really easy to scratch it, and like getting these as 10s is like really, really rare. So, fingers crossed for at least an 8 or 9, but to be honest, I don't, from what I remember, let me look at one in the back. I think the back's, okay, so the back looks really, really good, but I don't think we'll see anything above, like, I don't think we'll see a 10. Fingers crossed though. Put this to the side. All right, then we have this guy right here. This is a first edition Rocket Charizard. For some reason, every single Rocket card I've ever sent in has always come back as a 9. I don't know why, they always come back as 9s. But I'm hoping that this one ends up beating the curse and going for a 10. I don't think it will. I think it'll come back as a 9. But still, even as a 9, Rocket cards, especially first edition ones, are really valuable, and you know, it's a win-win. So we'll see what happens with that one. Fingers crossed. All right. Now this is one of my more sought after cards. The first edition Neo Genesis Lugia. I have currently 3 Lugias, none first edition. One is a PSA 9 and the rest are like 8s and 7s. I have not gotten any good luck with these when I buy them from the cards. And the reason why, again, is because there's such a giant like hollow pattern. Once again, the hollow pattern is really easy to get scratched. Because there's so much hollow in the actual card, it usually ends up getting scratched because these are really, really old cards, but I'm really hoping to at least get a 9 because as a 9, this is a big win for me. So fingers crossed that I can at least get a 9. Speaking of Lugia, we got the Call of Legends Lugia. I actually have no idea what this actually is. It popped out one day on Troll and Toad. I think it was like $60. And with me trying to complete a Lugia collection along with the Charizard one and Mewtwo, I figured I gotta get it because that was like one of the only times I've seen this pop up on the site. So fingers crossed for a 10, but honestly, same situation applies because there's so much hollow pattern on it. We'll see what happens. I believe this is a, from what I remember, Next Destiny Mewtwo full art. I have this as a 9 already, but this is not going to come back as a 10. It's just not. There's a couple issues, a little flaws. Most likely an 8, but again, it wasn't that expensive, so I figured I'd give it a shot. So this is not going to come back as much. This card right here, I sent in like 3 times now, and every single time it's come back as the lowest score, because once again, the hollow around and the border always gets scratched. If you have these cards, keep them in good conditions because they're really easy to ruin, even to get the simplest of scratches. So we'll see what happens with that. Now this is what I was talking about. So this was, he has put this on the side like this because this is like a 2-part card. This is from Heart Gold, Soul Silver. Wow, I can't speak. It's like a 2-part card. There's also a Ho-Oh as well. This entire card is hollow. And now, again, going to what I was saying earlier, because the entire pattern is holographic, it's really easy to get these scratched. Now, I do have these as 9s already, but I really, really want them as 10s, and I have not had any luck. Every time I see a near mint or mint version of a card pop up on a website, it always has a scratch or two. So unfortunately, I'm not expecting this to come back as a 10, but I'll always take an extra 9, I guess. So fingers crossed there. All right, now to get to the really good stuff. We got 2 Shining cards with the Shining Legends set coming out in a couple of days / week or so, depending on when you watch this video. I feel like the Shining cards are going to get a huge boost. The original for 2002. To those that know, the Pokemon itself is holographic, and I managed to pick up a first edition Shining Celebi. Unfortunately, this will not be a 10. This breaks my heart because everything else is perfect, but on the actual side here, there is a couple of flaws. As you can see, there's a little blemish right there. So unfortunately, even though the rest of the card is perfect, this part isn't. This is not going to be a 10. But hey, if it comes back as a 9, I'll be happy. Shining Noctowl, I don't really care about, but at this point I have every single Shining card in existence except for Noctowl and Raichu, and I figured let's complete the set. Oh, and Steelix too. Let's complete the set. So I'm looking out for Steelix and Raichu next, but I saw this, it was very cheap, figured let's give it a shot. This is actually a good condition. I feel like this is going to come back as a 10. So yeah. Alright, so that is my next batch. Is going to be sent out to the PSA card. Let's see what happens. Again, if you want to see more videos of this in the comment section below, leave a like in the comment. Also, let me know your guesses. This is going to be a fun one for you guys to guess the grade as well. So from all the cards that you guys saw, pick out like 1 or 2, guess the grade, and when it comes back, bragging privileges or something, I don't really know. So yeah, anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like and comment. Like I said, let me know your thoughts on this as a serious idea, and I guess we'll take it from there. Enjoy the rest of your day. This has been Rhyme Style. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.